Okay, hi everyone, or whoever's going to do this class now. My name's Anna, and I'll be guiding you through a little flow today in the morning, afternoon, or evening that you're doing this. Welcome to the Heart Center as well. I'm not there physically, but I am there spiritually. So, we're going to connect our breath with our movement during this class. It's going to be 30 minutes or so just to come back and tune into ourselves and center in with ourselves today. So, without further ado, we can begin in a seated if you'd like. So I'll give you the option to choose here. Or you can stay laying down. I'm going to be seated for today to start off. But I'm going to give you that freedom of choice to come laying on your back or come to a seated. So find any comfortable position to fully ground down. And when you get to that spot, if you're laying or if you're seated, let your eyes gently close. And start to bring that awareness into you. You've been checking parts of your body, letting your body become a little heavier. Letting the hips and the legs melt down into the mat. Checking in with yourself at this moment. Bringing awareness to that mind of yours. If there's any chatter going on. Mind's non-stop. But see the thoughts that are in your mind right now. Acknowledge them, and then let them pass by. Treat them as if there were just clouds in the sky. There have been a lot of things going on in this world, in this year, 2020 itself. And it's very easy to become mind-oriented, and sometimes even get lost in our own mind. So allowing yourself to come back to you, into that breath, and even to that awareness of observing those thoughts and not attaching to them can be very helpful to continue to show up for yourself and for others when we're not so lost in our own mind. It's much easier said than done. But you can bring that awareness now to that breath, how your breath is this morning. Is it shallow, deep, quick, short? And allowing each breath to wash over the body. And when you inhale, letting that full deep inhale come all the way in through your nose, and letting that belly rise as you inhale. And then exhale out through your nose, letting that belly fall back down. I invite you to bring that left hand to the heart and the right hand on the tummy here. start to breathe in and out through your nose, starting to feel that rise and fall of the belly. When you inhale, you feel that right hand rise up while the belly rises up. And as you exhale, feeling that belly fall back down. Maybe you even feel your heartbeat with your left hand. And the connection between the two, between the belly, the heart, your own metronome, your own inner compass, your heart space, at the heart center. On your next inhale, we're going to inhale in very deeply and hold at the top, retaining that breath. So we'll inhale here. Inhale in, sip one more inhale. Retain for 1, 2, and exhale out through your mouth. Let out a big sigh, big roar if you'd like. We'll inhale in again, big inhale through the nose. And exhale out through the mouth. We'll do one last one like that. Inhale in through the nose. And exhale out through the mouth. Awesome. And then you can just return to the own rhythm of your breath, breathing in and out through that nose. And we're just going to slowly start to invite some movement and physical awareness into our body by wiggling those toes, maybe even stretching the fingers. You can rock that head to left and right, looking over each shoulder. And if you're laying down, you can stay laying still. If you're seated, you can do this all in this whichever posture you're in. The next big inhale, you'll reach those arms over your head, taking a big morning stretch. Stretching those fingertips, reaching up. And exhale, we're going to bring those knees to the chest. So curling those knees in. You can do this while you're laying as well. If you're laying, you can rock side to side, massaging that spine on the mat. And if you're seated, you can still rock side to side as I'm doing right now. Letting us awaken the parts of our body this morning, or whichever the time of day that you're practicing. If you're laying down, you can make your way all the way up to a seated wherever you are to meet us up at the front of the mat. And then we'll all come back to a cross-legged. And we'll meet here. Awesome. So the next inhale, we'll take those arms and hands over the head, stretching all the way up, looking past our fingertips. And on the exhale, we're going to bring the hands to the heart center. Bowing that head down. Taking a moment of silence for yourself. Perhaps even creating an intention for your class today. I am. Very powerful statement. You choose what you'd like to put at the end. If you'd like to keep it I am, that's completely good too. I am love. I am patience. Or I choose patience. Creating an intention for this class and choosing that for you, whatever that may be. Beautiful. So we'll bring that right palm down to our mat, and we'll inhale, we'll bring that left arm over our head, stretching that left side body. Staying here for 2 rounds of breath, creating some space in that left side. And that exhale, we'll bring that left palm back down on the mat, and we'll inhale, reaching that right arm over the head, stretching that side body here. Beautiful. Exhale, we'll bring that right palm back down on the mat, and we're going to make our way to our hands and knees. So we're going to come to our hands and knees. You can bring those arms and hands directly below those shoulders, and those knees are going to come hip width distance apart. And we're going to activate the spine, warm up the spine here by doing some cat and cows. So we'll inhale, we're going to drop that low belly, take that gaze up, stretching the rib cage and the tummy area. On that exhale, we're going to bring the chin to the chest, curling that spine, cat-liking your back. And inhale, take that gaze up, drop that belly down. Awesome. Exhale, we'll bring that chin to the chest, curling it all in. Inhale, dropping that belly, taking that gaze up. I invite you to close your eyes here too and start to move with the rhythm of your own breath. Start to invite that trust in your own body and with your own breath. Trust your breath and trust your body. So I'll let you go for a few rounds with your breath and at your pace. You can wag your tail if you'd like a little in this cat-cow. Shake a bit, making it a bit of your own, bringing your own taste to it. Awesome, and then once you're finished with your rounds, we're going to come into neutral spine. We're going to curl those toes under, and we're going to let those knees hover for a moment, for a couple breaths, to start to cultivate some heat now. So we'll inhale, let those knees hover here, off your mat. You're going to grip the mat with your hands to create that resistance. Stay breathing here, in and out, through the nose. You might get a little shaky. Embrace it, invite it in. I'm going to be here for 2 more breaths. So inhale, exhale. 1 more breath here. Inhale in, and exhale, bringing those knees down. Whew. We're going to extend those arms out, bring the hips to the feet, coming into child's pose. You can bring the forehead to the mat as well. And let that upper body become a little heavy here in that child's pose, extending those arms out. pause here. And while being in this child's pose, having that head down, we're going to bring those hands together in front of your head or over the top of your head. And we're going to bend the elbows here, keeping that head down. It's almost like making yourself a little shark fin here. And bringing those palms together at prayer over by your neck area and creating a little shark fin. So hands are at prayer and those elbows are going to bend to bring the hand to the back of the neck. Coming into this nice humbling pose. Even reminding yourself of that intention or mantra that you created just a couple moments ago. And then we're going to let those palms ground back down on our mat. We're going to inhale, coming back to hands and knees. We're going to curl those toes under, and on that exhale, you're going to bring the hips to the sky, coming into down dog. Awesome. So, heels do not have to be touching your mat. You allow where your body is. You embrace the position that your body is in. We want to have correct alignment though. So you want to bring the shoulder blades down your back and take that gaze through your legs or up to your navel. So we're not stressing that neck area. And we'll come and walk our dog here. So we'll bend the knees, bend the right knee, the left knee, start to walk that dog out. And then after we stretch those sides out, we'll come back into just regular down dog. We'll take a big inhale in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth here. We'll take one more like that. So inhale deeply in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. Awesome. We'll inhale. We're going to take that gaze up to our fingertips at the front of the mat. And on that exhale, you're going to bend those knees and let the feet meet your hands at the front of the mat. We're going to stay here at a forward fold. Let that upper body become heavy here. You can shake that head, yes and no. Let those arms dangle. Even letting out a big blow out of your mouth. A horsey blow. That's what I call it. I don't know the real name. Yeah, let yourself get a little loose. I know I'm here practicing by myself and not around any people, so it's different, but invite that playfulness to where you're at right now as well. Awesome, and then we'll bring everything back to center, letting all our movement come back to the center. That next inhale, we're going to take a halfway lift, so hands can come to the shins, and you can gaze up here, just looking up at the horizon. You want to create a flat back here. We're not curling in with our back, trying to create a flat back here. And if those knees aren't coming to the shin, you can bring them to those thighs as well, if need be. On that exhale, we're going to forward fold, letting that upper body bend over once again. Inhale, we're going to root to rise up. We're going to ground with those feet. We're going to bring those arms all the way over our head. On that exhale, bring those hands to heart center. Beautiful. And I'll switch over here so I can gaze to you guys. We'll keep those hands at heart center. Taking a moment of silence here. Coming to that breath if you lost it for a moment. Then on that next inhale, we're going to bring those arms over the head again. On that exhale, you're going to grip that left wrist with your right hand. And we're going to bring the left hip over to that left side, stretching that left rib cage. So I'll face the back here. Inhale, we'll come back to center. And exhale, we'll grip that right wrist with our left hand and stretching over to that left side here now. Bumping the hips, your right hip to the right side, stretching that right side body. Inhale, coming back into center. And exhale, we'll forward fold, bringing chest to thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we'll rise all the way back up, bringing those hands over the head. Exhale, bringing hands to heart center. We'll bring those hands all the way back down to our side body. And on that next inhale, we're going to interlock the fingers behind our back. Inhale, we're going to let that chest open up. Stretching that chest open and wide, opening that heart here. And on that exhale, we're going to fold forward. So bringing the chest to the thighs, leading with our heart. Exhale down here. Let those hands stay interlocked still, giving yourself, it's a bit of an intense stretch. And when you're in forward fold, let your knees bend as generously as you need them to. They do not have to be straight. Exhale, we're going to let that grip go. Whew. Next inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, bringing the chest to thighs. Inhale, rising all the way up, bringing the hands over the head. And exhale, bringing hands back to heart center. Awesome, we'll bring those hands back by our side body again. And we're going to do a little bit of if we're not awake yet, we're going to wake up more now. We're going to bring those feet hip width distance apart again. And this one's called Knocking on Heaven's Door. I don't know if it's the real name. I should find out the real names of these things. But we're going to let ourselves rock left and right, twisting left and right. And we're going to create a fist with our hands. And you're going to have those fists knocking on those hips. So that right hip will be knocking on the left. That right knuckle, will be knocking on the left hip. And that left fist will be knocking on the right hip area. You can speed up your side to side here. Every time I do this, I get goosebumps. It brings a little bit of a playful energy here. You can connect it more with your breath. If you'd like, inhale, and then when you exhale, twist. If that's not working for you and you're feeling lightheaded, just go back to the rhythm of your breath. Stay with these little twists for a bit. Tapping on these spots of our body, waking it up. You can come back to that horsey noise. Blowing between your lips. we'll slowly come down from that. Slowing down and coming to center. Awesome. We'll inhale. We'll bring those arms up to the sky. On that exhale, we're going to bend both those knees and we're going to come into yogi squat. So we're going to come all the way down. Stretching out those hips here. You can bring the right and left elbow inside those knees. If it's a little too much, you can bring those hands in front of the chest at heart center, but also the elbows outside the knees. You don't have to have them inside. But if your body's allowing you to do so, let those elbows come inside those legs to stretch out those hips a little bit more. It's a nice grounding pose, being aware of feeling that support of your mat on those the soles of your feet or whatever surface your feet are on. On that next exhale, we're going to straighten out those legs and come to a forward fold. So we'll come to a forward fold here, and we're going to bring that left foot to the back of our mat. We're going to drop down on that left knee, and we're going to inhale, bringing those arms all the way up, coming into low lunge. Starting off a little bit easier, so we're not lifted immediately, causing maybe just too much fast shifting. So we're going to begin low on the mat first. Allow yourself to bring that weight forward, which brings the weight off your left knee if there's any pain in your knee. If this shifting forward doesn't work and your knee allows you to come straight up, stay there, stay here. But if you need that weight off your left knee, bring and shift that weight forward. This will create a lot more space in that knee. And we're going to engage our core here. So locking in our bandhas, which is some of our energy locks. Our core lock here. So engaging in that core, creating that strength and stability within our core. Taking those arms up. On that exhale, we're going to interlace those fingers behind our back. Like we did earlier, inhale, we'll pop that chest up. And exhale, we're going to come into this warrior, surrendering warrior posture in low lunge. That's a mouthful. Exhale, we're going to bring that right shoulder blade inside that right knee, taking that gaze down. Inhale, we're going to come all the way up, taking those hands off that, or letting that interlock off of our hands. We're going to frame our right foot with both of our hands, and we'll curl those left toes under. Keep that left palm grounded inside your right foot. You're going to lift that left knee off and inhale that right arm to the sky. Coming into the side twist here. That nice stretch in the legs, in your back leg, extending that right arm to the sky. And exhale, we're going to frame that right foot back down on our mat. And we'll bring that right foot to meet our left. We'll bring those knees to the mat. And we're going to exhale, coming into a push-up, if you would want to say. I don't want to say push-up because that's a scary word. But we'll come into a push-up. You can come on your knees. Exhale, you're going to keep that gaze up. Don't drop that gaze. That's when we start collapsing in the shoulder and the neck. So keep that gaze up and powerful. And we're going to bend those elbows to our side body. Exhaling down. On that next inhale, we're going to come into a baby cobra. So inhale, just lift that head up and bring those palms off the mat. Feeling the strength of your lower back here. We're not going to go immediately into a up dog. And exhale, let those palms ground back down. We're going to curl those toes under and come back to down dog. So bringing those hips to the sky. Next inhale, we're going to lift that left leg to the sky. You can bend that left knee, opening the hip up here. And exhale, we'll bring that left foot in between our hands to the front of the mat. We'll bring that right knee down to the mat. And inhale, raising those arms up to the sky, coming into that low lunge. Bringing that weight forward here, shifting it to the front, and extending those arms up to the sky. Engaging in that core as well, feeling the strength and stability that our core is keeping us here right now in this pose. On that exhale, we're going to interlock those fingers behind our back. Inhale, opening the chest, and exhale, humble warrior. Bringing that left shoulder inside that left knee and gazing down. Inhale, rising all the way up, releasing those hands. And exhale, we're going to frame that left foot with our hands, ground with that right palm. We're going to curl those right toes under, lift that right knee, and inhale, lift that left arm to the sky. Taking that gaze up to the left fingertips. Taking 2 rounds of breath here to feel the strength of this posture. And exhale, we're going to drop that left hand down to frame that left foot back. We're going to bring that left foot to meet our right, taking those knees back to the mat, and exhale, lowering down, bringing that chest to the mat. Inhale, we're going to come into this baby cobra here once again. Exhale, bringing those palms back down. We're going to come to the forearms here. Coming into Sphinx pose. Taking that stretch on our tummy. You can even allow your feet to do a little back and forth. When I'm in this pose, I think of like very innocent. So allowing those feet to wave out, bringing those legs back onto the mat. While in this Sphinx pose, we're going to take that gaze over that left shoulder, stretching out that neck, taking a little twist. Inhale back into center, and exhale, taking that gaze over the right shoulder. Inhale back into center. And exhale, we're going to bring the chest back down to the mat. We're going to ground with our hands here, curl those toes under, and exhale, we'll come back to that down dog. Awesome. So we're going to stretch those hips out just a bit more. So we'll inhale, bringing that right foot all the way up. You can bend that right knee. On that exhale, we're going to bring that right foot in between those hands at the front of the mat. Let that left knee come down as well. Inhale, we'll come back to that low crescent lunge. Inhaling those arms up, shifting that weight forward. This next exhale, we're going to let those hands come to our mat, and we're going to extend that right foot straight and bring the hips to our left foot, coming into seated half splits. If you can't come all the way down, this is just enough if your body is feeling this already in that stretch on that right leg. You can point and flex that right toe. Taking that gaze down. Some of these poses I can just stay in forever, but we're going to come out of it now. Inhale, coming back into that right knee. And while we're in this position, as if we're going to low lunge, we're going to shift that left foot to the right side of the mat. So coming as if it's in a 90-degree angle to the right side. We're going to bring those hands inside that right foot, and we're going to shift those hands to the back of the mat. And extend that right leg straight, inhaling that right arm to the sky. Yeah, that was a mouthful, but I hope you're here, and I hope you're there. Coming into this, it's a variety of a bridge pose. It's a little bit modified of this, not bridge on the back, but side bridge. And exhale, we're going to come to the back of the mat. We're going to bring those hands down, and you'll bring that right knee to meet the left on the mat. Awesome. So I know I might not be facing where you are, but let my voice guide you, because I know you can do it. So we'll be just doing the same thing on this left side now, at the back of our mat. So we're going to curl those toes under, exhale, bring the hips to the sky into down dog again. Inhale, we'll extend that left leg all the way up to the sky, bending that left knee. Exhale, let the left foot come in between the hands, and bring that right knee to the mat. Inhale, let those arms come all the way up to the sky into low crescent lunge, bringing the hips forward. On that exhale, we're going to let those hands come back, ground on the mat, bring the hips to the right foot, and extend that left foot out into seated half splits. You can come and sit all the way down if your body's allowing you to do so, or just stay here. Wherever you are, let your toes point and flex. Feel those arteries and the veins and that connective tissue that's all connecting our muscles and our skin together. I feel it so much when I point and flex my toes in this seated half splits. It's actually freaky in a way how much I can feel it all on my foot, stretching that top part of the foot. And plus, my feet are very veiny. Little TMI. Okay, so inhale. We'll come back into that left knee. And we're going to do that modified side bridge pose here. So we're going to bring both those hands inside the left foot. We're going to shift that right leg to the left side of us. My cues might be tricky because it could be left or right side, but shift it to the left part of the mat where you are facing now. So your foot is almost off, your foot would be off the mat at a 90-degree angle. And then your hands are both inside that left foot, and we're going to walk those hands back to the front of the mat and extend that left leg out. Left leg straight. Your right hand is going to be grounded on your mat. And we'll inhale, let that left arm extend up over your head. Nice. Coming into that side, opening this left side here. And exhale, we're going to let that left palm come back to the mat. We'll let the left knee meet our right to the front of the mat. And we'll curl those toes under again and bring those hips to the sky at a down dog. We're going to inhale, lift that right leg all the way up to the sky. Exhale, let the right foot come in between those hands. We're going to ground down on that left foot, so shifting on that left foot, paralleling it out, Keeping that bend in that right knee. Inhale, coming into warrior one. Beautiful. Strong, strong pose here. I love it. It's a pose difficult for me, but I love this pose. It's hard, so keep your breath. Inhaling and exhaling out through the nose. Creating this pose can create heat. And we're going to be in it just for a couple of breaths to create that heat. Keeping that bend in that right knee. You can bend a little lower. And our hips often want to open up. That is our warrior two area. But try to let those hips square off in front of you with that right knee. Extending those hands up, letting those shoulders blades come down the back. Not scrunching up. Staying here for one more breath. Awesome. And that next exhale, we're going to open up our arms to a T, to warrior two. Beautiful. Your hips can now open up to this side. That right knee might be warming up and killing. So give it a couple breaths. Breathe into it there. Staying here for one more breath. Taking that gaze past your right fingertips. Inhale, straighten that right leg. Woo! Exhale, we're going to extend that right arm in front of you as if you're reaching for something. Reaching for that, I don't know, chocolate cake. And exhale, we're going to drop that right hand to the right shin. Inhale, left arm comes all the way up to extended triangle pose. Taking that gaze up to those left fingertips. This one's a nice stretch for that right leg. Awesome. We'll inhale. We're going to come up all the way, keeping that right leg straight and still. And we're going to let those right toes shift them to face the side of the mat. Awesome. Coming into star pose. Extending those arms out. On that exhale, we're going to shift those feet so they're facing both sides of the mat. Going to bend those knees. Coming into goddess pose. Yes, awesome. Inhale, you can extend those arms up, straighten those legs again. And exhale, we'll bend those knees. Squatting down, bringing hand to heart center. This powerful goddess pose. This divine femininity that's in all of us. Inhale, we'll straighten those legs again, extend those arms. One more time, we'll squat back down, bending those knees. If you want to bring a little challenge to yourself, you can let those heels come off your mat. Let those arms come up for a little, those palms facing up to the sky. If you need a little bit of more cosmic energy, you can begin to be a little shaky here. That's okay too. Exhale, we'll drop those heels back to our mat. Inhale, extending all the way up to that star pose. And exhale here. We'll bring those hands to the side body. And we're going to let those toes shift in to create a little bit of more stability. Because we're coming into a wide-legged forward fold. So letting those toes come in to have that stability. We're going to bring those hands to the hips. And we'll inhale and take that gaze up. Exhale, we're going to let ourselves come down to that forward fold. Letting the hips come down. It's as if your upper body's a pendulum. Coming down. We want to keep that back straight. And letting that head loose. You can bring those hands to the mat. Let them reach down on the ground. You can shake that head yes and no here again. And we're going to let those hands crawl over to that right side. We're going to bend that right knee and bend right into it. Let that left leg extend out. You can bring hands to heart center. My whole foot is planted on the mat, but if your foot is coming off, that is completely okay. This one's more of an intense inner thigh stretch here. Breathing into that space. And then we'll let ourselves plant down with that right foot so we have stability. And we're going to crawl those hands over to that left side, extending that right leg out. Bringing that stretch into that right inner thigh. Even if your heel is popped off, your left heel, and you want to try a little balance, you can bring those hands to heart center. Then exhale and bring them down. Awesome. And then we're going to let those hands crawl back to the right, to the front of the mat. We're going to drop that left knee to the mat. Let our right knee meet our left. And we'll lower down into that push-up. Keeping that gaze up, exhaling down. Inhaling, coming into that baby cobra. And exhale, grounding those hands down, curling the toes under, bringing hips to the sky into down dog. And we'll come on our left side to do that. To do this next one, we'll inhale, bring the left leg all the way up. You can bend that knee here. Exhale, bringing that left foot in between those hands. We'll ground down on that right foot, paralleling it out. Inhale, keeping that bend in the left knee, bringing those hands over the head, coming into warrior one on the left side. Awesome. So we want to remember to keep those hips squared here, facing forward, letting those shoulders come down the back, taking that gaze up here, up at the fingertips. Gonna be here for 2 more rounds of breath. Exhale, we're going to open up, bringing those arms to a T, into that warrior 2, letting those hips open up to the side, keeping that bend in that left knee, taking that gaze past those left fingertips. This one's a very strong pose. If I were there now, I'd give your left hand a high five. Awesome. So you might feel that heat in that left knee. Breathe into it. Stay here for 1 more breath. Inhale, we're going to straighten that left leg, keeping those hands to a T. We're going to reach for something in front of us with that left hand. It was chocolate cake at first, but now let's reach for some eternal happiness, or whatever you want it to be. So extend out, reach for it first, and then drop down. Letting the left hand come to that left shin. Inhale, let that right arm come over the head, taking a gaze at those right fingertips. So coming into this extended triangle pose. It's a bit of a twist here as well, while taking the gaze up at those right fingertips. Taking a couple breaths here. Inhale, we'll rise up, coming back with our arms to a strong T. And then we're going to bring that right foot back to the front to meet our left. So coming all the way up. We're going to come into some balancing postures here. I'll come and face this way. We'll come and bring ourselves to a tree posture. So we'll lift up with that right leg. And we're going to bring the sole of that right foot. You can bring it down by your calf, or even if your toes are on the mat. But if you're feeling it, you can bring the sole of that right foot inside that inner left thigh. Wherever you are, whether it be up here, down there, try not to have it on the knee area. So wherever you are today, you can bring those hands to heart center, grounding down on that left foot, or you can extend those arms out. You can bring those hands, if you'd like, to a mudra, any hand gesture that you know of. You can bring the index finger and thumb together, or perhaps even the peace sign. Releasing the power of peace to the sides of us. And then exhale, we'll slowly come out of it. And we'll make our way to our other side. So we'll come up here with that left leg, let that left foot come up. Again, you can keep it down by your calf or on the mat, or bring it all the way up inside in that inner right thigh. Bring those hands to heart center, or you can bring them up. If you want, you can close your eyes for a moment. That one, that just makes my balance go off so bad. That one's a challenge, I'll have to say, closing your eyes. But it's interesting. So feel free to try it if you want. I'll stay here while closing my eyes. And we'll open them back up if you close them. Let that left foot come down. We'll inhale, bringing those arms all the way over our head. And exhale, forward fold, coming all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, rising up. Exhale, we're going to plant those hands, let those feet step back, and we're going to stay here for a moment in plank. You know, it doesn't sound the loveliest, but we'll build a little more heat before we come all the way down. So engaging that core, feeling that core. We don't want to collapse in the back or in our hips, so we're not sagging, but if you can, to even create a dome-like structure at the front side, the top part of your back. If not, have a neutral spine. Engage in that core. Keep that breath. Breathing in here. Your mind wants to give up way faster than your body does. Our mind starts talking to us in poses like this especially, but you can do it. Yes, you can. Breathe and activate that breath. Staying here for 2 more breaths. Inhale. And on that exhale, bring those knees to the mat. Woo! Come into child's pose. Letting those hips come to the feet. Extending those arms out. Bringing the head all the way down. Ooh. You can breathe out the mouth here if you're feeling a little heated to bring some coolness. knowing that you did it and followed through with your breath. Next inhale, we're going to come forward back into our hands and knees. Come into a bit of a shoulder stretch here. Inhale, bringing that right arm all the way up to the sky, giving a hello to the sky. On that exhale, we're going to thread that right hand inside that left armpit, and we're going to bring the right cheek to the mat. Coming into the shoulder stretch for your right shoulder here, you can extend that left arm out in front of you, or you can let it come all the way over to let that left hand reach your right thigh. Or if it doesn't get there, just allowing that left hand to drape over on that side. Taking a couple breaths here. Slowly, we're going to bring that left palm back to ground on our mat. Inhale, reaching that right arm all the way back up to the sky. And exhale, lowering that right palm back down. We'll come and do that on the left side. Inhale, lifting that left arm all the way up, extending it to the sky, to the ceiling. And exhale, threading that left hand inside that right armpit area and bringing that left cheek to the mat to ground down. You can extend that right arm in front of you once again, or bringing it back behind your body. Staying here for a couple of breaths, stretching out that left shoulder. And then we'll ground down that right hand once again, palm onto the mat. We'll inhale, lift our head up, and extend that left arm all the way back to the sky. And exhale, bringing that left palm all the way down. Awesome. We're going to make our way to our bottoms, our seat here. And we're going to slowly come down to our back. So you can extend those legs out in front of you. And slowly, ever so controlled, we're going to let ourselves come down as slow as you can. Activating that core here one more time. And lowering down. Coming all the way to our back and bringing our head to our back, to our mat here. We're going to let those knees come to the chest again. You can rock side to side, left and right here. And we'll come into a spinal twist here before our Shavasana. So let those knees drop over to the left side at first and extend those arms to a big T here. You'll take that gaze over to the right. And letting those knees drop over to the left. We'll inhale, bringing those knees back into center. Exhale, we'll drop those knees over to that right side. Take that gaze over to the left or your left fingertips. If you're close to your friend, neighbor, don't be worried about being in their space. We welcome everyone here. And inhale, we'll bring those knees back into center. And let those legs just extend out. If you have long hair and your hair was in a ponytail, I invite you to take that ponytail out or loosen it so your hair can be totally free without any restraints. And we'll come into that Shavasana pose. Letting those hands and palms, if you want, to face up for a little more cosmic energy, or let those palms face down for some grounding energy. And we'll take another deep inhale in through the nose together. And exhale out through the mouth. And then allow yourself to follow through with the rhythm of your own breath here, in and out through your nose. Give yourself these last few moments of complete stillness to honor that energy that you just created during this practice, or the energy you released during this practice. Allow yourself just to stay still before you go on to your to-do list. To listen to that wisdom of yours that you hold within your breath and in your heart and your gut. Letting your mind, body, and spirit rest here with this stillness. If you are practicing outside, perhaps you hear the birds and the wind. And if that chatter came back into your mind, treat them like clouds again, acknowledging them and letting them go. slowly just start to invite some deeper inhales and exhales here. Inhaling through the nose and letting that belly rise up. And exhaling out through the nose. I invite you to also bring that left hand to the heart and the right hand on top of your belly button in the belly area. We'll inhale in deeply, feeling that belly rise up. And exhaling out through the mouth here. Inhaling in again. And exhaling out through the mouth. And then following the rhythm of your own breath. Still feeling that rise and fall of the belly as you breathe in and out. Reminding yourself that your breath is your guide. And if you listen closely, it will tell you a lot. So tapping in, giving yourself moments during the day to tap into the breath. Even if it can't be a long 30-minute practice, or however long this was, giving yourself 3 deep, meaningful breaths throughout the day or once a day. Can guide you back into the present moment. Start to adjust, invite some movement once again into the fingers and toes. If you want to stay here in your Shavasana, I invite you to stay here if you are feeling that is what you would like. Your next inhale, we're going to reach those arms over the head again, stretching out. And exhale, bring those knees to the chest here, hugging it all in. We'll make our way to our right side, coming into fetal position. So letting those knees fall to the right. You could bring that right arm as a pillow. And coming into this nurturing posture, where we physically began this life. And it's almost a very comfortable posture to sleep into. And then you'll slowly use that arm or hand that's on the ground or on your mat to let yourself lift up, and using both those hands to lift up. We'll come seated cross-legged to the front of your mat. Letting your eyes come to a gentle close here still. Bring those hands back to heart center. Taking a couple breaths here. back to our heart center at the heart center. I thank you for joining this class today. I thank you for letting me guide you. And I hope the rest of your day, or your week, your weekend, carry it and follow it through with your heart and love. My heart and light inside me honors your heart and the light that shines inside you. Namaste. Thank you, guys.